Alright, so this is the last day of me kind of advertising this, but tomorrow on November 12th, the Deathclaw design, the t-shirt that I put out a little while ago, is going away forever. It's about 20 bucks for the t-shirt. If you guys are interested, you can get that. If you're not interested, well, here's the regular video. So I feel like this is going to be one of those videos that requires a little bit of added explanation. Basically, around Fallout 4, there's some quests that you may have overlooked. Some of these are extremely obscure, and naturally, since there are so many quests and side quests in the game and just kind of smaller locations, I felt like making a video covering some of the most interesting and just kind of most overlooked quests that you may have just missed on your first, second, or even third playthroughs could be kind of cool, and well, now we are here making that video. As a result of this, invariably some of you have experienced some of these quests. It's not like they are secret in the sense that they are impossible to unlock naturally, it's just you probably passed by them the first time. So before you start yelling at me that you have experienced or played all these quests, most people haven't. I actually did a lot of research. I looked through a bunch of Reddit threads to see what kind of quests people are missing the most often. So the first quest I do want to show you is Here There Be Monsters. This is a really interesting quest. Basically, on the docks behind the Shamrock Trap House, you're going to find this little boy. He'll be there exclaiming how there's monsters in the water. You saw the monster's eye pop out, and then you are dispatched to go investigate and find out exactly what's going on here. So as you do swim through the water, you're actually going to find that monster isn't a traditional monster, but actually an old Chinese submarine. Inside of the sub, you're actually going to find the old captain, who has of course been ghoulified since the bombs have dropped, as well as he's going to give you a few additional tasks for you to complete to actually unlock kind of further access to him and dialogue. Although the submarine itself is largely free to explore and you can look around and see all the cool stuff in there, although there's not that much. The quest itself basically involves this guy trying to repair his submarine. He's going to need various different things, and the quest, or kind of mini quest to go get those things, take you to different places around the Commonwealth. One of them is actually going to take you to the Saugus Ironworks. This is actually where the Forged are located. It's a pretty interesting location if you haven't experienced that just naturally through the rest of the game. And other parts of the quest will actually have you exploring deeper into the submarine. It's a really interesting one. It's obviously a very memorable quest because the location is so unique, and if you guys haven't seen it, I definitely would recommend experiencing it. So we do have the Milton parking garage. This one's actually not a quest, but a just kind of hidden or unmarked location. But inside this parking garage, as you enter in, you'll notice something a little bit odd. There's a lot of more detail added to this than anything else, especially at the door. Well, in fact, it's a mini maze set up by some kind of psychopath. If you want the full backstory, there's probably a better video to watch, like Oxorn has covered this in the past. I'm just kind of telling you about the location. It's basically going to be right around Milton General Hospital. Although when you fast travel there, be kind of careful because there's a bunch of super mutants and super mutant suiciders. Regardless, more or less, what this is going to have you doing is traversing through this parking garage. You're going to have to get to the top floor where there is a bunch of good loot as well as some other interesting things, but I don't really want to spoil it because I do hope after watching this video you guys will go and experience these quests for yourself. But regardless, it is a really interesting thing, and again, another really memorable kind of instance or location in Fallout 4 that you may have missed because again, this one's not even marked on the map, but is definitely something worth experiencing. So we do have Brain Dead. This is a really interesting quest. This is basically going to be in Far Harbor, so you of course need the DLC to actually do that. It's going to take you to Vault 118. A lot of people probably missed this one because there's a robot that kind of cues you for the quest and she takes you somewhere. And at first glance, it kind of just seems like your standard kind of snatch and grab quest. But in fact, as you do follow this robot, you'll discover that you are being taken to a fully fledged vault. That vault was actually made to host a lot of the world's famous before the bombs dropped. Artists, actors, musicians, things like that are all located in this location. Naturally, because they can't live forever, they've all been put into robo-brains, so now the vault is inhabited by a bunch of different robo-brains. But unfortunately, or fortunately, there has been a murder, and the whole quest takes you kind of trying to find out who actually murdered that one robo-brain. You're gonna have to experience the vault itself, and of course, you're gonna have to interact with all of these inhabitants and find out some of their backstories. And actually, with some of the female robo-brains in particular, there's some pretty interesting interactions that are possible. Regardless, if you haven't experienced this quest, definitely do it. It's really funny, it's really entertaining, but even beyond all of that, there's only a few vaults in Fallout 4. Now this one isn't the largest, there isn't the most to do in this one compared to some of the other options. What you do in this one is definitely extremely interesting and again, super memorable. So this one's going to be a bunch of mini quests. They actually fall into the miscellaneous category in the quest section of your Pip-Boy. But basically, if you guys don't know, and I imagine a lot of you guys overlooked at least some of these, there are a ton of bottled message on the coast of Fallout 4's Commonwealth. Basically, what these bottled messages do is largely take you to buried treasure that are within the water. So you'll get one, you'll open it, you'll read the message, and it'll have kind of a short line right there, but then you'll get a miscellaneous quest where you have to swim around underwater to actually find that treasure. A lot of these do hold a really good loot, and obviously Fallout 4 has a massive unused water section, so this is giving it some usability. But if you never played these quests or you never experienced any of these bottles, then you wouldn't really be able to do that. They're really cool. There's nothing super memorable out of all of them. There's a bunch of kind of tiny quests here, but again, I imagine a lot of you guys missed at least some of these. Maybe you found one and just assumed that was the only one in the Commonwealth. Well, that's not actually true. There are in fact 6 of these bottled messages scattered around at different locations that you can experience. Then we do have Diamond City Blues. There's another one that you may have not experienced because of the weird way you kind of have to get this quest. Basically, as many of you probably know, when you enter the Colonial Trap House in Diamond City for the first time, you're actually going to see a fight breaking out. The quest involves these people getting in the fight, but the way you actually get the quest is not by going back into the trap house or just standing there and talking to them after. You actually have to wait till a later point and find one of the characters, that being Paul, around Diamond City to actually receive this quest. So again, first you have to witness the fight, and then you have to talk to Paul later on. So if you didn't do either of those things, you of course won't be able to get this quest. Then it's going to be basically a tale that has a lot of different options. There's like 3 or 4 different outcomes, and you'll have kind of varying rewards based on that. Again, I don't want to spoil too much about this quest, but it's going to be about a drug deal going down. You have to ambush it. You could kill people. You could not kill people. You could resolve it peacefully. It's a fairly short quest, but again, another super memorable one, an interesting one that has a kind of weird activation, and also actually leads to a secondary quest if you want to kind of do the follow-up. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know, did you guys find this interesting? Did you play all of these quests? That would be really disappointing for me. Hopefully at least some of you guys didn't experience every single quest on this. Fortunately, most of these are just in vanilla Fallout 4, only one being through the DLC, so if you guys are watching this video and own Fallout 4, which I imagine is like 99% of you, you can go do these quests right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, again, I thank you guys for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.